the 15 unluckiest Among Us moments. And don't forget that 95% of you watching still aren't subscribed, so subscribe or else you won't get imposter for the next 50 games of Among Us. I wouldn't risk it. But coming in at number 15. Alright, so one of the most stressful and also most satisfying feelings in Among Us is when you catch the imposter red-handed, right? Super satisfying. But if the imposter knows you've seen them, then it turns into one of the most stressful things in the game. So when this streamer caught an imposter, let's just say the race to the emergency button was something.
The f away from me, Tay! Get the f away from me! No!
Oh, it's so unfortunate. He literally hit the button like a millisecond before dying. I mean, the imposter must feel really relieved, but man, feels bad. Anyways, moving on to number 14. So a lot of people tend to forget that you could actually win Among Us as crewmates just by finishing tasks. I mean, wow, who would have guessed? Well, it seems that one of those people was streamer Dean So Cool, who had literally one task left between his team and the win. Guess what happened? Bruh, if he hadn't stuttered on that last wire, he would have won the game for all of them. And this, people, is why you have to do your tasks as a ghost, because if I was his team, I'd be devastated. But it was just a crucial few seconds too late. Speaking of crucial seconds, check out number 13. When Trainwreck was playing as imposter in the final moments of an Among Us game, he wanted to get an alibi by being next to the rest of the lobby. Smart, right? It seemed that gaining their trust was simply just hanging around with them and dancing. I mean, surely this harmless conga line couldn't go wrong. Or could it? Yeah, you can see him reach for that sabotage button just before it switches to a vent option. Among Us really did him dirty here. In front of 3 witnesses too, you can't make it up. But next up we have number 12. So on the topic of getting done dirty, our next unfortunate moment comes from Lazy, Purple, and 5UP, who were in a wild game of cat and mouse during this game of Among Us. When Lazy was the imposter, he went after 5UP, but let's just say it was a little harder than expected.
Come on, give it to me one time. Yes! I'm so over it. I'm so over it. Just vote me off, for God's sake, dude! This game sucks!
Yeah, the decontamination door really must not like him because it shut him out at the worst moment. I mean, it also doesn't help that 5UP immediately went for that report button. I mean, it's just overall terrible. I mean, Among Us really is doing imposters dirty lately, so now let's move on to a crewmate fail. Introducing number 11. So in Among Us, you can be so sure that you know who the imposter is, and then when the time has to come to vote them off, they end up being innocent. But sometimes it's also the other way around, and someone you could trust could end up plotting your own murder. Sometimes it's the people you least expect.
All right, who are we not sus of? We're not sus of Albert.
He wasn't sus of Albert. I mean, maybe he should have been. But next up, we move on to Shroud in number 10. If you asked what the most notoriously difficult task in Among Us is, you wouldn't really expect to be told it's a mini game where you swipe a card. I mean, a lot of us have gotten better at card swipe and can pull it off pretty well, but it turns out not Shroud. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen someone ignore the words too fast this much in my life. The fact that he just gives up and goes for O2, man. Legend has it that Shroud is still swiping the card to this day. But from swiping fails to hiding fails, up next we have number 9. I could tell you to name one hiding spot in Among Us, and 80% of you would probably tell me about the satellite dish and Mirror HQ over next to the balcony. It's a huge dish, and you could just camp behind it to try and catch imposters venting or murdering. And while it's great, everyone knows about it now, but back before everyone knew about it, we had Sakuno here to introduce us to this very secret spot.
I will show you guys as a thanks for coming to the stream today. This is my secret hiding spot. Right behind this.
Ah yes, the world's greatest hiding spot. That just doesn't work. But steaming ahead, let's move on to number 8. Everybody knows, lying is a big part of Among Us, even when you're not the imposter. You can lie in order to keep someone safe, or you could try to lie to bait out the imposter, but there's one thing you should probably never do in any game, and that thing is lying to yourself.
No one's gonna kill me, because they respect me too much. Just command respect, and you can never die. That's how it works. Oh, well, I lied.
Like, not only did his advice get turned around on him, the timing was just perfect. Pretty unlucky for this guy though. I'll pay my respects to him now while we talk about number 7. Sweet Anita is a streamer famous for her Tourette's. Basically, she could have random tics while streaming, which causes her to do and say random things. And because of that, it's extremely unlucky that her tics decided to do this to her.
I'm the killer! What?
Wait. Wait, what?
It was me. I'll kill you next. Oh,
I mean, admitting to be the killer when it's not even you is just one part of the unlucky puzzle here, but then having another tick saying you'll kill them next, oh man. It's like a smoothie full of things you definitely don't want to say during an emergency meeting, but from unintentional fails to just straight up being bad, let's move on to number 6. All right, so with a fail as bad as Shroud's card swipe, you think it can't be topped. But then I introduce you to Haftor. I'm totally gonna butcher this name, I'm sorry. But anyways, he's the world's strongest man, apparently. He also played the Mountain on Game of Thrones, so a tough guy like him, you wouldn't be able to think of many weaknesses, except maybe, well, this one task on Among Us. Who knew that all it took to take down the world's strongest man was a spinning disc in electrical? I mean, that's some terrible reaction timing. Taking this long actually caused him to die later in the game, so it's even more unlucky. But from bad task timing to just bad Among Us timing in general, you don't want to miss out on number 5. So when Ludwig here found himself watching Vitals, he decided to explain his strategy to the chat. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
So it's impossible for me to die here, so I can sit here and just spam vitals.
Yeah, it's made even better by the fact that no one on cameras even saw the imposter kill him. Yeah, so much for strategy. But next up, we have a gem from XQC with number 4. Sometimes the timing in Among Us is too ridiculous to even process. I mean, the game is full of famous last words being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It also comes with people's confidence coming back to bite them. So this clip, well, it's like literally all 3.
You know what, dude? I'm gonna run an educational session on how to play Among Us. First,
I hope his next educational Among Us lesson is a little bit longer than that one, but now we head into our final few clips, starting with number 3. Poor timing is pretty annoying in Among Us, as we've seen, but the game breaking is something that could either help you or absolutely humiliate you. Which is why, when this streamer won a game of Among Us as imposter, it looks like fate caught up to him.
Lose? Oh, you
My kill was on cooldown because I was standing on reactor. I would have been so
stupid.
What?
Yeah, so the game entirely broke and made him lose the game, even when he won it. Talk about terrible timing, but finally coming in at number 2. In what is probably the funniest clip in the video, check out Dakota's trying to do Simon Says over at Reactor. Honestly, it just speaks for itself.
Oh god, what was it? No!
Yeah, that's probably the worst timing I've seen in a while. Happens to the best of us, but now finally coming in at our number 1 spot. So for streamers playing Among Us using microphones instead of text, sometimes people slip up and talk without muting their mics. So Ludwig decided to use that and troll the entire lobby.
Alright, me and Pokey need to get a double kill here.
oh!
So that's all we have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to click on screen right now or else 10 years of bad luck, because I have the ability to give you that.